Where the Caucasus whispers ancient tales, discovering Ganja, Azerbaijan's hidden heart. Where the Caucasus whispers ancient tales, where minarets pierce azure skies, and where pomegranates burst with the flavor of legend, welcome to Ganja, Azerbaijan's second city, and one of its most profoundly beautiful secrets. While Baku dazzles with its futuristic skyline and Caspian glamour, Ganja unfolds like a well-worn poem, quiet, rich, and deeply human. This is not a destination you visit for Instagram likes or fleeting trends. This is a place you come to feel, to breathe in centuries of resilience, to taste history on your tongue, and to wander through streets where time doesn't march forward so much as it lingers, pausing to let you catch your breath. Nestled in the fertile foothills of the Lesser Caucasus Mountains, Ganja, also spelled GNC, is more than just Azerbaijan's second-largest city. It is a living museum, a cultural powerhouse, and a culinary paradise woven into the very fabric of the land. Founded in the 5th century AD, it stands among the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the entire Caucasus region. Over the centuries, it has been ruled by Arab caliphs, Seljuk warriors, Mongol hordes, Persian shahs, Russian tsars, and Soviet commissars. Each empire left behind more than ruins. They left flavors, melodies, architectural DNA, and stories whispered into the wind that still echo today. The cobblestones beneath your feet have borne the footsteps of poets, soldiers, merchants, and mystics. And yet, despite this layered past, Ganja remains fiercely, unapologetically Azerbaijani, proud, warm, and alive. Forget the neon-lit towers of Baku for a moment. Ganja offers something rarer, authenticity. It's the kind of place where elders sit outside their homes sipping tea from crystal glasses, where children race through alleyways chasing stray cats, and where the scent of roasting walnuts and saffron drifts from open doorways like an invitation you can't refuse. As you roll into Ganja by train from Baku, a scenic 5-hour journey winding through emerald vineyards, golden wheat fields, and snow-dusted peaks, the first thing that strikes you isn't architecture, but green. Unlike the arid, sun-baked coastline of the Caspian Sea, Ganja is lush, verdant, almost tender. The Ganjake River, a silver ribbon threading through the heart of the city, feeds countless parks, orchards, and gardens. It's no accident that Ganja means "city of gardens" in Old Persian. Nature here isn't curated, it's cherished. The city center revolves around Haydar Aliyev Park, a sprawling, manicured oasis named after Azerbaijan's beloved former president. At dusk, the park becomes a stage for everyday life, grandmothers knitting under plane trees, teenagers laughing over shared headphones, couples slow dancing to music drifting from hidden speakers. In the center stands a towering bronze statue of Haydar Aliyev, his gaze fixed toward the mountains, but the real magic happens away from the monument. It's in the corner teahouses where men argue politics over steaming cups of black tea, in the street vendors selling freshly baked lavash bread still warm from the tandoor oven, in the quiet moments when the call to prayer rises above the chatter, blending seamlessly with birdsong. And then there's the bazaar. No visit to Ganja is complete without losing yourself in the Ganja Bazaar, a sensory explosion that feels both timeless and urgently alive. Step inside, and you're swallowed by color, pyramids of crimson-dried barberries, mounds of golden saffron threads glowing like captured sunlight, sacks of walnuts piled high enough to climb. Vendors shout in rhythmic cadence, pomegranate, sweet as honey, while children dart between stalls, fingers sticky with molasses. But the true sovereign of this market? The pomegranate. Ganja is the undisputed capital of this jewel-like fruit. Locals don't just eat them, they revere them. You'll find them pressed into juice so thick it coats your lips, candied in syrup like edible jewels, ground into paste for savory stews, even fermented into wine. One grandmother told me, "Eat one a day, and death will knock on your neighbor's door." She winked. I bought 3. Don't miss the stalls piled high with dried fruits and nuts, especially kavurma, slow-cooked apricots stewed with almonds and cinnamon until they melt on your tongue, or shakerbura, delicate, crescent-shaped pastries filled with crushed walnuts and sugar, stamped with intricate floral patterns by hand. Traditionally made for Navras, these are eaten not just for sweetness, but as symbols of renewal. And then, oh, the cheese. Soft, brined beyaz peynir, crumbly and salty, smoky sultani pulled fresh from the cauldron, aged cheddar-like cheeses wrapped in grape leaves. Pair any of them with still warm, tender bread, crusty outside, pillowy within, and a drizzle of wildflower honey. Heaven, yes. But also, heritage. Ganja's skyline is a silent symphony of eras. Walk its avenues, and you're walking through layers of history. The Shah Abbas Mosque, Juma Mosque, built in 1606 by the great Safavid ruler Shah Abbas I, is Ganja's spiritual anchor. Its turquoise dome glows like a jewel against the sky, its twin minarets standing tall through earthquakes, wars, and decades of Soviet suppression. Inside, the air hums with quiet devotion. Hand-painted tiles shimmer with geometric arabesques, carved wooden doors whisper of forgotten craftsmen, the floor, worn smooth by centuries of bare feet, seems to remember every prayer ever uttered here. Non-Muslim visitors are welcome outside prayer times, just cover your shoulders, remove your shoes, and walk softly. This is sacred space, not spectacle. A short walk away lies the Nizami Ganjavi Mausoleum, the beating heart of Ganja's literary soul. Nizami, the 12th century poet whose epic romances, Layla and Majnun, Khosrow and Shirin, shaped the emotional landscape of Persian and Azerbaijani literature, is buried here. His mausoleum, rebuilt in 1947 under Soviet rule, ironically, as a symbol of national pride, is breathtaking, a soaring turquoise dome rising above a marble plinth, surrounded by tranquil gardens where locals sit reading poetry aloud. At night, golden spotlights bathe the structure in ethereal light, making it look less like a tomb and more like a lantern lit by the moon. Inside, walls are lined with verses in elegant Nastaliq script, glass cases hold ancient manuscripts, and a bronze statue of Nizami sits pensively, as if waiting for someone to recite his words again. Locals come here not merely to pay respects, but to speak. To chant. To weep. To remember. Poetry here is not art. It's oxygen. Then there's the surprise, the Alexander Nevsky Church, a Russian Orthodox cathedral with gleaming golden domes and frescoed ceilings depicting saints and angels. Built in 1887 during the Tsarist era, it survived Stalin's purges when churches across the USSR were destroyed or turned into warehouses. Today, it stands as a quiet testament to Ganja's multicultural past, a Muslim-majority city that once hosted German settlers, Armenian traders, Georgian artisans, and Russian soldiers. Light a candle. Trace the icons with your eyes. Listen to the bell toll, low, mournful, haunting. It sings of coexistence. For history lovers, the Ganja State History Ethnography Museum, housed in a restored 19th century mansion, is a treasure chest. Bronze Age arrowheads, medieval battle axes, Soviet-era propaganda posters showing smiling workers harvesting cotton, and, most spectacularly, carpets. Dozens of them. Each rug tells a story, a bride's hope for fertility, a shepherd's memory of lost sheep, a family's plea for protection. UNESCO recognizes Azerbaijani carpet weaving as intangible cultural heritage, and here, you see why. The patterns aren't decorative, they're prayers woven in wool. But perhaps the most enchanting corner of Ganja isn't found in museums or mosques, it's hidden in plain sight, Khan's Garden, also known as Bottle House Park. This 19th century royal retreat was transformed over half a century by Ibrahim Jafarov, a local artist who, armed with nothing but glue and thousands of discarded bottles, turned the garden into Azerbaijan's answer to Gaudi's Park Güell. The centerpiece? The Bottle House, a two-story villa entirely encrusted with over 50,000 colored glass bottles. Sunlight streams through them at dawn, casting liquid rainbows across mossy stone paths. There's a mosaic dragon coiled around a fountain, a wishing well made entirely of cracked teacups, peacock strutting like royalty, and benches carved from tree roots. Children leap from stepping stones. Couples take wedding photos beneath mulberry trees heavy with fruit. Artists sketch in silence. It's whimsical, yes, but more than that, it's an act of love. A man took what others threw away and turned it into wonder. That's Ganja in a nutshell. Stroll along the Ganja River Promenade at sunset, and you'll understand why locals never leave. Cafes spill onto sidewalks. Street musicians play the tar and kamancha, strings that cry like souls remembering home. Lovers lean close, whispering in Azerbaijani, their laughter soft as falling leaves. Cross the Rainbow Bridge, a modern pedestrian span lit by programmable LEDs that shift from lavender to amber to aquamarine every few minutes. Below, paddle boats glide past families feeding ducks with simit, sesame-crusted rings sold by old women in headscarves. This is not tourism. This is life, lived beautifully. And then, the food. Azerbaijani cuisine is a crossroads. Persian elegance meets Turkish heartiness, Russian comfort kissed by Central Asian spice. But Ganja cooks from the soul. Start with Piti, the city's signature dish. Slow simmered for hours in a clay pot with lamb, chickpeas, chestnuts, and dried plums, it arrives steaming, fragrant, almost sacred. You eat it in 2 acts. First, sip the broth, rich, earthy, deeply comforting. Then, mash everything together with torn bread, letting the flavors meld into something transcendent. Eat slowly. Savor. This is food as ritual. Try dushbura, tiny lamb dumplings floating in garlicky yogurt broth, each bite a warm hug. Or Qutab, paper-thin pancakes stuffed with spinach, pumpkin, or minced meat, crisped on a griddle and served with sour yogurt and sumac. Crunchy, tangy, addictive. For dessert, seek out baklava made with 40 layers of phyllo, drenched in rosewater syrup, or shekerbura again, because once you've had it, you'll dream of it. And always drink tea. Not just tea, armudu tea, served in pear-shaped glasses with a cube of sugar perched on the rim. Never stir. Bite the sugar between sips. Let the sweetness bloom slowly, like memory. Tea culture here is religion. Gather at Çay, the open-air tea garden near the river, where men play backgammon, debate football, and watch the world pass. Order kadik, thick, tangy yogurt, alongside. The contrast cuts through the sweetness like truth cuts through illusion. Festivals turn Ganja into a living theater. The Ganja International Music Festival every September transforms the city into an open-air concert hall. Opera singers perform under starlit skies near Nizami's mausoleum. Jazz bands improvise in alleyways. Folk dancers in embroidered choka coats spin until dawn. The finale? Fireworks exploding above the mausoleum, lighting up the poet's name in the sky. And then there's Navroz Bayrami, the Persian New Year on March 21st, bonfires blaze on hillsides as children leap over them, shouting, "My yellow skin, your red fire," a purification ritual. Tables grown under samani, sprouted wheat, dyed eggs, and sweet treats shaped like animals. Street performers juggle fire, walk tightropes, and recite Nizami's epics in voices that shake the soul. It's not celebration, it's communion. Don't miss the Ganja Carpet School, where grandmothers teach girls how to tie knots older than nations. Or the Copper Workshop near the bazaar, where artisans hammer trays, samovars, and teapots using tools unchanged since the 1700s. Watch the sparks fly. Listen to the rhythm of metal meeting metal. That's tradition, not preserved, but practiced. From Ganja, venture out. Goygol National Park, 45 minutes born from an earthquake in 1139, its lake is so impossibly blue, locals say it's heaven's mirror. Hike pine forests, kayak across glassy waters, or picnic beside stone ruins left by German settlers called Hellenendorf. Shamkir, 1 hour explore the crumbling fortress walls of a medieval stronghold, or visit the 1867 Lutheran church, now a cultural center, its stained glass glowing like stained tears. Tavuz wine region, 1.5 hours. Yes, Azerbaijan makes wine, 7,000 years of it. Tour family vineyards, sip bold reds like Madrasa and Bayan, and toast with Sag Ol. Be well. Practical tips, visit April to May or September to October for perfect weather. Take the train from Baku, affordable, scenic, slow. Use Bolt taxis. Learn Salam and Kak Sag Ol. Carry cash. Stay at Ganja Boutique Hotel for charm, or the historic Ganja Hotel for Soviet nostalgia. Why Ganja steals your heart? Ganja doesn't shout. It doesn't need filters. It doesn't beg for attention. It reveals itself in steam rising from a pot of pity. In the echo of a poet's verse bouncing off mosque walls. In the laughter of kids chasing soap bubbles in Khan's garden. In the way an old woman presses a handful of pomegranate seeds into your palm and says, "For luck." History here isn't locked behind glass. It's in the hands of the weaver. The voice of the storyteller. The recipe passed from mother to daughter. In Ganja, you don't just observe culture, you participate in it. In Baku, you see Azerbaijan's future. In Ganja, you feel its soul. So, dear traveler, pack your bags. Bring your appetite, your curiosity, your quiet heart. Bring your willingness to be surprised. Ganja won't just show you Azerbaijan. It will let you taste it, touch it, live it. And when you leave, you'll carry a piece of it with you, not in souvenirs, but in scent, the sweetness of pomegranate on your skin, the warmth of tea in your bones, the echo of poetry in your dreams. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more hidden gems from World Travellingz. Next stop, Sheki, Azerbaijan's Silk Road jewel, where caravanserais glow with stained glass and silkworms still weave dreams into thread. See you there. Thanks for watching.